What's going on, everybody? It's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to our rock album review for the new, I guess, record or sequel record from Blink-182. It's called One More Time Part 2. And for this rock album review, I'm joined by a special guest. We have Hector the Chill Dude on a couch. How's it going, Hector?
All good. I think this record should have been called like instead of One More Time Part Two, like we did it again
We did it
or
one more
something like
time
that.
again. Yeah, I know. They keep saying one more time, but how many times can they keep doing this? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But we've had an interesting night because we talked about Rush over on your channel, and now we're talking about Blink-182, two bands that have nothing in common. But that's just the fun of talking about these albums.
Nothing in common. They're not even from the same place.
I know exactly. So let's talk about this new record, One More Time Part 2. It's an extension of One More Time that came out last year, which was Blink-182's big reunion record with Tom DeLonge that came out last year. And now they've released these 8 additional songs on this deluxe edition to bring the total to 27 new songs. So before we talk about One More Time Part 2, Hector, what are your thoughts on the album that came out last year, One More Time Part 1?
I actually reviewed that album on my channel, and it made my top 10, or it was in my top 20, 25 albums. Yeah, it made that. It wasn't in the top, but I think I really enjoyed this. I didn't like Blink 182 with Matt Skiba. We even did a video for the Is It That Bad for the California album, uh, which I thought, yeah, it wasn't that great of a record. So I was happy that Tom was back in the band. I thought Neighborhoods was an album that got a lot of flack, and I thought it had some good tracks on
It's
it.
a
But I
great
think,
record.
yeah, but I think this album gave gave Blink fans what they wanted. But yeah, but it's something that bands do now that they have the deluxe version, and then they have more songs. Because obviously, if they had released this, everything together is 1 hour and 14 minutes. That's a whole lot of Blink.
Yeah.
I think the other album's like 40 something, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
standard album time. Yeah, size. Yeah.
yeah. But 1 hour and 14 for Blink-182, that's a long time. So yeah, it's a deluxe. Also, I think this could have been like instead of doing like a deluxe, this could have been an EP
Yeah,
with
totally.
like the 8 additional tracks. It's 8 additional tracks. You got a great runtime for an EP right there.
Yeah, like EPs
But
usually
yeah,
run 6 to 8 tracks, and yeah, to put it out as a separate album, I guess maybe they can charge regular album price instead of EP price for this thing. So maybe it's a money thing for them. Not to say that Blink-182 is always chasing money, but yeah, for sure.
yeah, I think they're doing good. They're doing just fine. Uh, but yeah, I was a fan of I think I remember the first song that I listened to when they were uniting was "Edging," and I didn't like that song. Like I thought it was okay, but after they released the other like singles, especially "One More Time," like such a great, amazing song,
Very
that
emotional.
I was on board, and I like the other singles, and yeah, it's an album. I think it's a very nostalgic record.
Yeah, it is very nostalgic. It brings you back. That One More Time song is very powerful. You wouldn't think that a Blink-182 song could make you emotional, but
Oh
that one
well, there's
does. Yeah.
Adam's song.
Adam song, true, and
Yeah,
and Miss You as well. Miss you.
and
So
do it for the kids. Stay
yeah,
together
exactly.
for the kids.
For the kids. Yeah, they do have some emotional moments. I will give them that, even though they're
Yeah.
known for their crude humor when they're on stage, and even on this record, there's some crude humor on One More Time. Yeah, I enjoyed One More Time Part 1 a lot. Like I'm a big fan, not a big fan of Blink-182, but I'd say I'm a pretty solid fan of Blink-182. I really love Neighborhoods. That's actually my favorite Blink-182 record.
You don't have a
It's
poster of them, so you're
I
not.
don't. I know I'm not representing them on the wall, but yeah, I love Neighborhoods. I thought One More Time when it came out last year was a really great record. I think it's one of the best Blink-182 albums of their career. It was super catchy. The songwriting was really great on, even though they had a lot of different co-songwriters on a lot of those songs, which is depending on how you judge that. There might have been maybe too many co-writers on there, but it was great to hear Tom and Mark sing together again. And I think for me last year with my 2023 best of albums list, Blink 182 came in at number two. I want to say number two or number three on my best of list last year because I really,
Yeah,
really love that
I
record.
know
It got
it
a lot
was
of
in my
play.
top 10, but it wasn't in my top. Yeah,
Yeah.
my
Well,
top album of the year last year was Foo Fighters.
oh, really? But here we are. Oh, okay. I think that was
Yeah,
on
that
my
was
list.
my album of it was my album of the year last year.
Yeah. Well, I think we were kind of reversed because I think for me, Foo Fighters was a little bit further down my list. Blink was a little bit further up, and you're kind of the opposite of that. So, but both were great records
No,
last
to
year.
me, that Foo Fighters record, because the record that they put out before 12 minutes to midnight sucked.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, I
so
love
it was
Medicine
like
at
it
Midnight.
was like
Yeah.
a return to, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a return to form for me. But yeah, no, the Blink, I really enjoyed it. It was nostalgic, but it was also fun. It was a
Mhm.
fun record, and I think they did they on that album they captured all the stuff that they've done throughout the whole career,
Yeah.
even some of the humor from Dude Ranch and their earlier records.
Mhm. Yeah, it had all the elements. They had a couple of the joke songs on there, the quick 30-second joke songs, and then songs
Yeah,
that were a little bit poppier, songs that were sounded like Boxcar Racer, some of the songs that were a little bit heavier with some
also,
heavier
yeah.
riffs. Yeah, so it had everything on that record. So yeah, I thought part one was great. I thought it was a good return to form for them. And to me, I did like California when Matt Skiba was in the band. I didn't love Nine, but to me, Blink 182, and I'm sure most people would agree, is these three guys. It's Tom, it's Mark, it's Travis. That is Blink 182.
Yeah, it's not the same chemistry without them.
Yeah, the three of them is with some bands like with to compare it to Rush, which we were talking about on your channel. Rush is those three guys, so there is a comparison between Blink 182. Like you can't have Rush without the Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil
Without
Peart,
Neil
right?
Peart, who's rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. So Hector, let's talk about some of the tracks here on One More Time Part Two. Which of these tracks, pick a couple, a few of them. Which of these tracks on here stood out to you? Do you feel like the tracks on One More Time Part Two are as good, or they can compare to some of the songs on Part One?
I think they could have take a few of those songs and maybe taken away those like joke songs that do anything and put some of them on the regular album. Like for example, I really enjoyed If You Never Left. I thought that was good, and I think No Fun is good, and it's got that catchiness. And I would say I like One Night Stand as well.
Yeah, one night stand was cool. It makes me wonder though. All these guys are married. Who are they having one night stands with? Where's the one of them's married to a Kardashian. He better not be stepping out on a Kardashian.
No, yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, man, remember, this is talking about this album is all about reminiscing about when they were younger. So they're talking
Mhm.
about like past one night
Yeah,
stands.
exactly. Nothing that can get them in trouble now.
Yeah.
I really liked All in My Head, which was the song they released it a few weeks ago when they announced One More Time Part Two. And the funny thing about this one was the lyrics are very much Blink 182. I was writing, talking about lonely hotel rooms, stains on the couch, watching porn and singing. So they still have their edge to them when they talk about it in these songs. And so I like the quote from Mark Hoppus at the beginning of the songs too, which was, he's a tiny speck of nothing, and he's also the entire universe writ large. So I thought that was an interesting way to start out the record. And I love the heavy intro on this too. I thought there's some good, I know Blink 182 doesn't get a lot of credit for being heavy, but there are some heavy guitar moments on here. It's not necessarily as heavy as some of the metal that you talk about on your channel,
No,
but there's some heavy
but
moments.
they can be more. I like punk rock.
Yeah.
So they're usually pop punk, but they can bring it sometimes and get a little bit heavier.
Yeah. For sure.
Especially if you listen to the earlier Dude Ranch and those records, they had
Yeah.
some heavier stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, some heavy riffs on there. I liked Every Other Weekend. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was one of the catchiest songs of the bunch. And then I loved Everyone Everywhere, which I thought had a really cool Tom DeLonge guitar riff in there. And then I liked the vocals from Mark Hoppus. And this one reminded me a lot of Boxcar Racer. I think Tom DeLonge brings a lot of that Boxcar Racer sound. I know one of the songs, Terrified, off One More Time Part One, was an old
Uh,
Boxcar Racer song that
was it
they
Turpentine?
Turpentine or Terrified, one of those
Yeah.
ones, maybe
Yeah, I
both.
remember that
Well,
one. That was
yeah,
like a heavier track. Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool. So I thought Everyone Everywhere was a good one, and then I agree with you as well. Like If You Never Left was a really good song. Kind of more like we were saying, more emotional. There's some good emotional moments on here in between the jokes, like the crude humor and stuff. So I thought those songs were really good as well. I think this is maybe not as strong as the original album, because I think in general they probably took all their best songs and put it on that first record. And I don't know if these songs are necessarily left over from those sessions or if they recorded them afterwards. But yeah, I think in general these songs are pretty good, but maybe not quite as strong as the first album that
Yeah,
came
no,
out
the
last year.
singles that they put out, obviously they're great.
Mhm.
So it makes sense why they chose them. But they could have taken at least two songs from this one and taken away maybe one of the joke songs, and it could have been in the first album.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the joke songs are fun, but to me they're a waste when you put them on a track listing.
Yeah.
They come and go so
So
quickly,
like
and
like if like two of these songs, like No Fun or the ones that we mentioned, could have easily been on the first record, and just
Mhm.
take away those songs that are like 10, 20 seconds that really are not a songs, and put those two, and the record would have been like 50 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been that much stronger than it already is. Just a couple extra songs
Yeah.
to make it even better.
But they
So
did it because, like, imagine someone that bought the first vinyl, which I didn't
yeah,
buy it, and now they're like, "Now I got to buy this part two." Like,
yeah.
I sometimes I hate it when bands do that.
Well, it is a little bit like double dipping because they got the money last year and then they're getting
Yeah.
another chunk this year.
Except for you, if it's Oasis, they'll be. But we had definitely, maybe,
Yeah. The 31st anniversary edition of Definitely Maybe.
definitely, maybe a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Like we have with a brand new song, and the song is just Liam and Noel fighting.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do have a record. It's funny enough, there is a single that came out back in the 90s that I have on CD that was a recording of a fight that they had for an interview. And it's like this famous thing. It's called Wibbling Rivalry. It's a famous thing that came out. It came out as a single in England, and it was just them fighting. So there you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Classic. So, all right, Hector, what are your final thoughts on Blink-182? Like, you're a fan of One More Time. Are you glad they released this second edition, One More Time Part Two?
Yeah, it's good that there's extra songs. Uh, do I think it makes the album better or less good? No, I think it's just as good uh, with these extra songs. I don't mind them, but I wouldn't listen to 1 hour and 40 minutes. I think
It's a lot
it
of fun.
makes sense that they made like a part because that's too long
Mhm.
for a Blink 182 record. But yeah, I think they're strong tracks, they're fun tracks. I would have released this actually as a separate EP, just those 8 songs, because if someone already bought the first one, why would they need to? Why would they buy this one with the extra song? Just give me the extra songs,
I think you might be
and
able
it
to
would be
buy it
like
on
an
vinyl with the extra songs on the website. Like
yes,
I
of
think,
course,
yeah.
it's money, man. Like, but like I didn't buy the original one, and I don't know. I think if I had to choose between this and the one with the extra songs, I think I buy the original
Mhm.
and just listen to the extra songs online.
Yeah. But yeah, I have the original album on CD. I don't think I'm gonna buy another version of it, even if it is just the extra songs. I'll probably stream 'em on Spotify, maybe buy them on iTunes. But to fork out another because they're going to charge full album price for it. So to fork out another
Exactly.
full, that doesn't really make much sense. So definitely it's a digital only listen for this one.
Yeah. Like some YouTuber says it's like the new Blink 182 stream. Like,
Stream it now. Yeah, and there are a couple different vinyl versions of it on the website. I think there's one called the Blue Balls version, uh,
the Blue Balls version.
which is the very Blink-182, and then there's one called the Red Rocket version. So that's pretty cool. I think one of them has the full album, and then maybe one of them has just the extra songs. So maybe just get that one.
Probably the extra songs are on the Blue Balls.
Yeah, for sure. If you really
Yeah.
want if you really want them, you got to get them on this version.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought this was cool as well. I'm never really going to complain about more Blink-182, and I think in general, like, the quality of these additional 8 songs is pretty
Yeah,
strong.
they're good songs. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good songs and a nice little addition. Like you said, it's a lot of Blink-182 to listen to in one sitting. If it's an hour and 14 minutes, that is a long time, but it's fun. I always
Yeah.
love like when bands put out a lot of music at once, like Blink-182, or if Chili Peppers, Stadium Arcadium, like double albums, and then you put them into a playlist and you put them on shuffle. That's always kind of fun too. It's a fun way to listen to that many different songs all in one go. So I would think this is pretty good. So, like, Hector, what would you give it as a score out of 5? This One More Time Part 2.
Just the 8 songs?
Yeah, just the 8 songs out of 5.
A 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, that's solid. I can go. I can agree with that. I would go with it with 3.5 as well. It's not anything blowing my mind, but it's solid, and I
Yeah,
like
it's
it. So it's
good.
gonna add. Yeah,
They're solid songs, but there's not a song there that it's a super single like One More Time or Dance with Me.
yeah.
They're good, but they're not on that other level. So, but they're not bad. But I would say, yeah, they're solid tracks.
Yep, 3.5 I think is a solid rating for both of us. So I think this is worth listening to. If you're a Blink-182 fan, chances are you're gonna grab these extra songs. If you're somebody who's maybe not as much of a hardcore Blink-182 fan, or somebody who listens to all their stuff, maybe you're not really going to be interested in an additional 8 songs, but I'm into it. So the more Blink, the better for me, for sure.
Yeah, and people comment down below. Did this album give you blue balls?
Yeah, exactly. Did you get what you needed from this album, or did it leave you unsatisfied?
Did it leave you wanting for more?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, let us know in the comments. And yeah, thank you to Hector, the Chill Dude on the Couch, for joining me on this edition of Rock Album Review. Hector, where can they follow you on YouTube and on social media?
They can follow me on YouTube on Hector or the Shield Dude on a Couch Reviews. And I'm on TikTok as Hector the Shield Dude on a Couch, and on Instagram as the Shield Dude on a Couch. I think reviews or something. You can find me on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram. So yeah, I usually post on Instagram the thumbnails of where the videos are going to premiere. And so if you're watching this Sunday, there's a new Is It That Bad? And we talk about Rush, Caress of Steel from 1975. New episode this Sunday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna get lots of flack from the Canadian fans. I'm not representing enough for Rush on the channel or on your channel. I got in trouble when I did my best Canadian rock bands because I said Rush wasn't in my top 10, and so people were calling me on that. Like, how can you say that about Rush? Being Canadian.
Yeah, it's not a bad, it's a band. I respect Rush a lot, but I'm not like I'm not like a huge Rush fan, and sadly I could never see them live. So they played in Puerto Rico in I think 28 or 29, but I had just lost a job, so it was going to a concert or eating. So yeah,
yeah, that's a tough choice, but I think food wins
yeah,
on that one for sure.
yeah.
Right on. So follow Hector, the Chill Dude on the Couch, on YouTube, and go check out the Is It That Bad episode for Rush coming up. And yeah, you can follow me on social media at Nick Chino Music. And we'll see you guys again for another edition of Rock Album Review here on the channel. Until then, rock on, everybody.